This is another run of Void Launch, Double Trouble, Mutation. Once again playing Stukov. This is a offline replay, so we will be watching Dehaka's perspective because you already know what my perspective is going to be, which is just sitting around doing the feed bots. Mutators are killbots and propagators.
Greetings, Commanders. My fellow scientists have determined that Amon is using Kaldir as a staging ground for his troop shuttles. The warp conduits...
He is using...
So you will need to destroy the shuttles themselves before they can warp away.
Prestige, the second Prestige, Primal Contender. I will be using the third Prestige, Lord of the Horde.
Won't be long before Amon's shuttles depart for it.
Now here he incidentally he accidentally put the Primal War in the wrong location. He thought he was going to the right side. So he was like, I'm just gonna set it right there and crawl it back to the other side later. I initially had planned on building some Diamondbacks early, but since Dehaka comes out much earlier, he was the one that dealt with the early props, so all I had to deal with were the killbots. So he took this advantage to get some levels in. Eating the Archon is a really good idea because it explodes, meaning it deals massive AoE damage. As he was doing that, I was fixated on just getting my economy up. And I think I started my factory at this point.
We have an enemy attack inbound.
I also chose not to upgrade the infestation compound because I was not going to be using it for much longer. As soon as he got Glevik, he's immediately rushing all the pack leaders because that's going to be his main source. The good thing about the pack leaders is that the propagators do not target them. So he could just slap the propagators with the pack leaders as they're passing by, while Dehaka can devour them in the early levels because they won't be as many. Here it got into a little bit of a situation where the killbot decided it wanted to take a detour all the way around us. But thankfully I had a new wave of infested units passing by, but they walked a little bit too far.
The enemy has taken an interest in our base.
He's sending a second. I was slapping some rocks. His Dehaka died, so had to sacrifice a few units there. Or actually he didn't. He decided not to do that. Or maybe not yet.
Now this one I am proud of.
Got his Glevik out, so he started working on... I mean, he got Mervog out, so he started working on... Or he never did. I guess he was more focused on the economy at this point. I forgot the name. I'm actually upset. Dakron.
Central warp conduit.
Oops.
Destroying them is your main objective.
So he's moving to the left side to take care of that propagator, which decided to take a detour to the side as well.
Much essence to use for changing.
I think it was around this point where I decided I was gonna stop producing units with the infestation compound, so I undid the autocast on it. And I just used my...
Our enemies provoke us. We will answer.
Yeah, he took care of the wave. I had my troopers ready there to take care of the shuttles.
You have prevented the shuttle's escape.
It could not adapt.
I also took care of the
We could.
killbot while I was there. Now we got 2 killbots and 1 propagator,
The Zelnaga shrines nearby are reacting to Amon's
both
army.
taking the left side for some odd reason.
Useful intel, but we will need an escort. Preparing a research vessel. Let's make this one count.
Metamorphosis complete.
I think at this point I used an infrastructure to take care of the left killbot.
We share your structure for a time, yes?
Our allies are in combat.
Because I didn't want him sacrificing his own workers for that.
Devour.
A warp conduit is powering up, and a wave of shuttles is bearing toward it.
It flees, but we will follow.
He's once again focusing on getting a little bit more levels by devouring pretty much the sentries, and afterwards devouring the archons. It's all explosions, which means
Our allies are in combat.
they explode. I forgot the words. This isn't scripted, I'm just going by what I'm thinking is going on. I would also like to point out that during this particular run, I was in voice chat with the other players, so
The data we need. Thank you for the escort, Commander.
that's why you don't see any
We provide.
typed communication on this one.
Gather. We must withstand them.
I think I was able to take out the 2 shuttles there.
Escape was never an option for them.
He devoured that. I used the infrastructure to deal with... Oh, no. I was going to use the infrastructure afterwards,
Evolution.
but he ended up moving... he ended up being there on time to eat the propagator, and then I used the infrastructure right after.
Our allies are in combat.
But I was much more prepared to just move my command center.
Our allies' base is threatened.
He didn't have his Devour cooldown ready, so he was just slowing in. And I was like, I got the troopers, I'm okay. My troopers got the damage.
Another warp conduit has been activated.
Over there, I was taking care of a killbot that was stretching a little too far, but I was fine. He took care of the other. I think at this point he was mostly taking care of the waves. And he was just kiting the propagators with the mutalisks, but he was losing a few every once in a while.
Murder is needed.
There were 2 killbots there. I moved up all of my infested units, and
The enemy is near. Kill. Now I can call Dakron.
yeah, he took care of that particular wave. I was trying to make my way over, but he had already cleared it by then.
Shuttles eliminated, Commanders.
It reminds me of duck hunting back on Earth.
Our research vessel is ready. We're moving out now.
So I moved back up to the center to prepare for the next killbot that was already there. There was a propagator also on its way.
I must.
But I think at this point I already had enough units to be able to just take care of the propagators, but he was still trying to use up some of his mutalisks to try to deal damage to them.
Our forces have met the
And he's just spamming mutalisks at this point.
They appear to be launching more shuttles towards
He felt more comfortable using mutalisks over the Primal and Creeper host, so I said it was perfectly fine, because at the end of the day he didn't have to worry about using Primal host to have to deal with the killbots this time, because I would be taking care of that for him. So he would be able to safely deal with just the propagators and the mission itself.
Enemy forces are moving toward our base.
Although he did end up losing quite a few mutalisks here and there, which is unfortunate, but
We've lost contact with the research team.
it
They're
happens.
gone.
He was also making a few Zerglings just in case I didn't have my infested stationed in that area, which is a pretty smart move. Can't always rely on them. And there he took care of both of the ways. And then I started moving towards the bottom right,
The hive cluster is under
but I think I ended up using a infest structure instead.
combat.
Or I think I made it in time.
Our forces have met the enemy in combat.
He was multitasking much better than I was, that's for sure.
Say good night.
Time to change.
We're detecting your main objective. A wave of shuttles inbound on an active conduit.
I took care of the 2 killbots that were just sitting there, and then there was a few more killbots coming in, but I had enough units, and I just kept building more and more bunkers. So he went to the left side to take care of that particular propagator, and I think I went to the right side to take care of that one, or I think he summoned Mervarg? Or no. Oh, he did just send his things over, but he ended up losing quite a few units there that ended up coming. I was like, oh, maybe I should go help him, but there was another propagator on its way over there.
Forces are under attack.
Come to battle, Murmur. Rise, Primal.
Research vessel ready. Let's get a team to that shrine. A wave of shuttles has been shot down.
Killing a fleeing adversary. How familiar.
At that point, I used the infrastructure to try to deal with that particular killbot on the bottom right, and then we started seeing an increased amount of propagators. So I took care of the one on the north side, or in the middle, while he took care of the two on the right, and my my infrastructure broodlings were not cooperating there. They were just making a whole bunch of them. Yeah, this is where I came down and I was gonna try to help him, but he had already finished clearing. And then I went back up
We
into
will not allow it to escape.
finish clearing the 3 killbots.
His next battle.
Our allies are in combat.
Many enemies.
He got a little bit worried because he saw me sending a whole bunch of propagators that direction, but I was like, at this point, I can take care of the propagators. I have enough units for that.
Our forces have met. Our allies are in combat.
I infested the bottom right expansion, so I can deal with those 2 killbots.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces have met the enemy in combat. Our allies are in combat.
Scan complete. Thank you for your help. They would have been lost without you.
Such an amateur strategy. I expect.
Yeah, he did way more than I was. I was mostly just focused on the feeding portion of it,
Pick the wrong fight.
but I was able to deal with a few props here and there. There was a wave coming down on the bottom left side. I think I later dropped an infestation on it just to help him a little bit. Here, my units were kind of struggling a little bit.
Shuttles are on course for all 3 conduits. We will have to split our forces to stop them all.
And at that point, we were pretty much like, just sacrifice the bases. We're just gonna go all in for the win. So I sent my units to try to help deal with the propagator on that side.
The enemy.
And then I was like, no, never mind. Let me go back to the center because there's 2 of them showing up there.
We face
He was taking care of the wave on the eastern side. We took care of the 2 propagators, and then I approached the 2 killbots there. Eventually, but we had to take care of that propagator that was sitting there first. While the killbots were attacking them, I was helping take down the shuttles at that point.
I am glad to have
Our
this.
forces are under attack. Our
So
allies
I was focused on the center one. He took down the one on the right. He couldn't take down the one on the left, but at this point we didn't care because it was already over.
have met the enemy in combat. Our
You've succeeded in thwarting Amon's plan. Our research facility and the sector owe you.
So yeah, I got carried pretty much there, but yeah, I was mostly there to try to help with the kill bots for the most part. So that's that run done. Hopefully you enjoyed another run of me just playing Stukov, but at least this time you were not watching Stukov's perspective. So hope you enjoyed that. You guys take it easy. I'm out.